Hot Top Sports, where the takes don't miss. The prof with the stats, the champ with the fist. Water bringing fire, cowboy, tie riding bold. Bulls calling bets, watch the stories unfold. And it's truly eyebrows running the show. It's Hot Top Sports, baby.
Let's get it, let's go. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. It is, in fact, the best day of the week, and we have a jam-packed show. Obviously, it goes down this weekend versus Ole Miss, so the Lane Kiffin drama is in full effect. We got a special guest, Steven Willis from Locked On Ole Miss, going to be joining us here in just a few moments to talk all things Florida versus Ole Miss, and of course, ours truly, Lane Kiffin. But before we do any of that, we have a major announcement here on High Top Sports. A special moment has happened here. Let me bring Swolder in before I do all this. Let's bring in the Swolder quiz, okay, before we expand into this situation here. As you all know, this thing started off with 2 with Holly and I, and then we expanded to Old Swolder, and we had 3, and then Holly got soft and went him along his merry way, and Dave and I have held on the duo here for quite some time. Dave and I have had multiple conversations about bringing on a third to this show. We've got obviously Champs Corner with Steve. That's his day. We've got our weekdays with Cody. We wanted a body, a face that we felt that, hey, who rides with the kiddos on Wednesday? And I was like, it's got to be somebody that's special. They got to hit the socks off. And this person does that for us. And I'm really excited to bring them a part of High Top Sports. What makes it even more special, it's full circle for us. This person was the very first guest here at High Top Sports. I always give this guy his flowers. Y'all know who he is. We're warming him up, boys and girls, because he came on the show when we were in shambles, and we still are. And now he's not coming on as a guest. He's coming on as a part of the family, ladies and gentlemen. So let's give this young man a warm High Top Sports welcome to become a part of the Wednesday night crew with Swolder and I. Hollywood, baby. Let's go, baby. Connor Clark, my man. How you doing, big dog? Good to see you. Welcome to the family, baby.
What's up, babe?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. I've talked to you guys over the last week or so. Just truly humbled and blessed to be able to join you guys on this, and really looking forward to it.
I was really hoping your mic would have been muted. that would have been awesome. You come in, you just like complete shambles, things broken, all that great stuff. But look, guys, for those of you, go ahead.
Done this a time or two before. I've had the muted mic situation, so tried to make sure that I made sure I hit unmute before I started talking on this one. Didn't want the first thing I do on this podcast to be screwing up already.
I love it, man. Well, look, for those of you that don't know Connor, Connor has had an awesome career in this world, if you will, and stepped away from it. But it's been how long now? 2 years now? You hung up the cleats?
Been a minute.
Yeah. I hung up the cleats about 2 years ago. Just wanted to kind of step away, spend a little bit more time with family, stuff like that. But I've always kind of followed everything. Obviously, huge Florida fan. Didn't get to really lean into that fandom when I was writing and stuff like that. So stepped away, went back to being a fan, and was like, man, I need to get back into this stuff. So thank you guys for the opportunity to get back into this. And I'm super excited to see where things go and to work with y'all.
Yeah, man, we're pumped. Like I said, I called Dave and a couple of the guys. I was like, look, we've got an opportunity here to add a legend Hollywood to the mix. You messaged me. I was like, hey, you know anybody that's looking for some Gator guys? I was like, I know of you if you're about it. So Connor is well-educated, well-informed, well-knowledgeable about all things Gators. Recruiting. The recruiting world is going to be a blast. I mean, this man has always been in it, but also knows basketball, guys. So we've got some help there. It's not just going to be me and me for basketball stuff. So I can't wait. Should be a blast. But Connor's not going anywhere. He's going to be rocking and roll with us, but we've got to listen. It's a big night. All right. I mean, Connor, welcome, buddy. All right. We're diving right into it. We have another phenomenal guest tonight. You're not a guest anymore, Connor. You're part of the family, but we've got a great guest to come talk about this Lane Kiffin drama, the Ole Miss drama. Steven Willis here. He's been a great sport. We made a video about his video a few days ago. I was critical of his takes. I told him, I said, look, I'm critical, but very respectful. Loved his thoughts. Going to have him join us here now. and talk some more Ole Miss ball with Mr. Steven Willis. Give me a moment here to add him to the mix here. Steven, my man, welcome to the show. Good to see you.
There we go.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Is there anything to talk about? What's going on?
Slow week, man.
It's a little quiet.
News week. It's been fun. It's been electric. Dave and I have been talking a lot, man, about this, and it's going to be ugly with however this thing goes out. Someone's going to have fun with it. Someone's going to be pretty damn pissed off. And what makes it even worse is both sides feel extremely confident. And that's what I'm excited to talk to you about today, of your level of confidence on where this Lane Kiffin situation is. I feel like you've been pretty, I mean, the video that I saw at least, not 100%, like you're sold, but you were still in the understanding that it is Lane. Anything could happen.
Yeah, he's whimsical. You could feel confident all the way up until the point where you're not, and he's gone. I mean, that just happens. In 2022, Auburn was dead sure. I mean, what Florida is doing right now and how confident they are online, imagine that 10 times more, and that was Auburn in 2022. They thought this was a done deal. He ended up staying in Oxford. So what I like to tell people is it's kind of like the Dark Knight Rises. You guys just rent the darkness. We were born into it.
Oh.
This is our 6th year in a row of going through this. So we kind of know the script. We know what to expect. And that is probably where the confidence comes from, because the reality is with Lane, he hasn't probably spent more than 10 seconds thinking about the Florida job or the Ole Miss job or anything that's going to happen after the playoffs if they make it. I honestly think that he is 100% committed to the playoff and making that run. And he should be, because you guys had the national championship with Tim Tebow and all that, and Steve Spurrier and all of those Gore years. If Ole Miss makes the playoff, that is a culmination of Ole Miss kind of turning that last corner that they've been trying to get to for 60 years, that this NIL and transfer portal era has allowed them to do. And that's an important thing that people need to realize. We talk about how important this game is for Ole Miss. It has nothing to do with Florida. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. It's about what it means if Ole Miss can win the next ball game. And that's honestly what the majority of the fan base is thinking about going into this weekend, with a little bit of banter back and forth with Florida fans on Lane Kiffin.
I wouldn't call it little, but
It's pretty extensive, but it's fun to watch for sure.
I've been on the receiving end.
The burners are out. Yeah, the burners are out.
A lot of burners are out.
So, look, I mean, I do like your analogy of the Dark Knight there. Like, you guys have lived this world from multiple sides. And again, from the Lane Kiffin side of it anyways, of the drama that you guys have ensued. And you spoke to him being highly hyper-focused on the playoffs, which I believe that he is. That's something that I've said on my shows. Like, I like that he's focused, regardless of what he chooses to do. Like, that's what you would want your next head coach to be like, is hyper-focused. What do you say to the literally 9 other coaches? Brahm is now basically the last one that has been targeted, that has now in talks of, at least it's not necessarily it's been signed, right? Brent Key and him himself have not signed anything, but there has at least been a report that, hey, there is a discussion. We haven't even got that from Lane on either side. What is your thoughts to that?
Lane does not sign extensions with Ole Miss or talk coaching jobs until the end of the season. That is the reason this can get out of hand with the media, is he just doesn't acknowledge it until the season's over. And that's the reason I say I don't think he's thought about it at all, and it's not even on his mind or something like that, because this has gone on for 6 years. When I say Ole Miss fans know the script, that's what I'm talking about. And we'll see what happens with Lane Kiffin. I mean, he could end up taking the job. He could end up staying at Ole Miss. The rumor is Ole Miss is going to offer an extension somewhere around $13.5 million, like the highest paid coach in college football, with all of the perks that he asked for. Basically, they capitulated on absolutely everything. So Ole Miss has put out its best foot on this thing. If Lane decides that he wants to go back to where his ex-wife's father or grandfather played quarterback at Florida, if the ties to Gainesville just grabs him, great. If he takes the job, if they fire the coach for the Miami Dolphins, and after the playoffs, He goes down to the Dolphins. Fine. The fact of the matter that's the most important thing about this that honestly doesn't get much run, the fact that other coaches know that Ole Miss is willing to pay this amount of money means that Ole Miss is going to be able to get a pretty dang good replacement. So if that happens, there is a nice backup plan. But with Lane, you never know. His son, which, by the way, shame on Rivals for interviewing his son about his father potentially taking a job.
Right.
That man got dragged.
That was a terrible look. But his son is a sophomore quarterback in high school. He just won the starting job this year. His daughter is like a junior at Ole Miss that is the one that saved him from going to Auburn, according to the ESPN documentary. There's a lot of ties that's in. Chris Kiffin, his ex-wife's in town. There's a lot going on this outside of the fact that, hey, here's just a bunch of money. So nobody really knows. Anybody that's super confident on the Florida side, I don't believe. Anybody that's super confident on the Ole Miss side, I don't believe. I think at this point, honestly, we just speculate and you just don't know.
Yeah, a good buddy of mine always said that when there's like a coaching search going on, it's misinformation season.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
Clark, you got anything for him?
It should.
Oh, go ahead, Steve.
No. Go ahead, man.
No, I just so you said you've been going through this for the Ole Miss fan base and beat's been going through it for the last 6 years. Has this been essentially a carbon copy of every year, or have you noticed any differences or any different nuances throughout this process with Lane in interviews or anything like that that's been different than anything in the last 6 years?
Listen, the Auburn, like I said, the Auburn search in 2022 was 10 times worse than this. Everybody thought Lane Kiffin was going to Auburn on that one. Everybody did. Lane Kiffin was trolling. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
He was trolling the fan base, making fun of the roof leaking and stuff like that. He was doing some immature stuff. This one hasn't gotten there. Yeah. When he starts trolling his own fan base and kind of setting up the next best thing, I think that's the point that you really start to worry. Until that happens and he's hyper focused on the playoff and doing exactly what he's supposed to do, it's kind of status quo, if we're going to be honest.
So let's play a game real quick, because if last time he was trolling Auburn, I feel like he's trolled Florida more so, if anything.
No. He was trolling Ole Miss last time.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
And he stayed. This time he's trolling us. maybe that's where he's going to go. The interesting situation that's happening this week, and this is, look, I'm going to be honest. I don't know how to feel. Like, people think they're going to like laugh at me. Look, I'm going to have just as much fun as anybody with this thing, because we don't control it. Like, they're going to have the greatest time ever. We've got choo-choo horns. You guys don't even have that. You guys have belts, but that's besides the point. He's got multiple Florida commits visiting this weekend. And I was like, this is a level of trolling that if he were to come to Florida after this, that's like you're at your girlfriend's house, you bring in the new girl to come over for dinner, and you introduce her to everybody, and then you leave with like, hey, I'm leaving with her. I just wanted you guys to see her before I left. Yeah. I just don't. For me, I don't see how he would do Ole Miss dirty like that. That's where I would be shocked.
No, I don't think he's trolling as far as the official visits coming in. I think the player personnel department saying, hey, we need to have at least put our best foot forward with some of these players, because this is an opportunity that 2 weeks ago you didn't have. So they're going in like the safety coming in and visiting. I think they're just good football players. And Lane is very big. Yeah, very big on good football players, and it doesn't matter where they come from. Dean Leonard and Tavius Robinson were playing like low-level college ball in Canada, and Lane got them to transfer down. Now they're both playing in the league. You know, if you can play, he will find you. And I always tell people Lane's best strength that he has. Everybody likes to talk about offensive genius and all of that stuff. The best thing that Lane does is he is an elite roster builder. He knows how to build a roster up. And that's the reason that even though everybody thought Ole Miss was going to slide back to the pack this year. It's just Ole Miss had really talented players that were replacing these stars from last year's choke job, and they were really good coming in. A mix of high school and transfer portal and all of that. And they do a little bit of money ball. They find players like Deshaun Stribling and Harrison Wallace III at wide receiver because they didn't want to spend $1.5 million like they did on Eric Singleton at Auburn. I mean, they are really good at finding the players to make this system work. And I'm telling you, I think this Ole Miss football team is better than the team they had a year ago when all of those stars were running through and all those first round picks were out there.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing to see. I really love Trinidad Chambliss. I think Trinidad Chambliss is a great quarterback. I don't know, he's not talented like Austin Simmons. He's not talented like Jackson Dart. But I talked last year. There were games. There was the Florida game. There was the LSU game. There was the Kentucky game where you look at the box score and Trey Harris had 10 catches and the second receiver had 2. With Trinidad Chambliss, yeah. Trinidad Chambliss has 5, 4, 3, 3, 3. It's complete balance. Everybody is getting a touch, and you don't know who to double, and that is what's making this offense effective. Listen, the roster building for Lane Kiffin, it is the best thing that he does, honestly.
Heading into this weekend, Ole Miss, the spread's moved from, I think it opened up at 13. Now it's up to 15, 16. I've seen it in some places. What's the confidence headed into this week? Obviously, after Florida drops a tough one against Kentucky. And like you said, it wouldn't matter what opponent was rolling into Oxford this weekend. It's a must-win for Ole Miss to close this thing out strong and stroll into the playoffs. Even if they don't play in the SEC championship, they would lock themselves in. How do you see this game going?
I think this is going to be a cauldron in Vaught Hemingway Stadium. I know that a lot of people don't respect a 64,000 seat stadium. That place is going to be pretty electric atmosphere-wise because you got a group of fans coming there expecting essentially a coronation to get where they're going to go. And then on the other side, you have the team that is coming after your head coach. So that is giving you license to be even more rowdy in the stadium. Ole Miss is confident. They should be confident. It's what is it, a 15.5 point line right now or something like that. Ole Miss has the better team. And if you look at Florida's availability report, they're good players that are just not playing.
Or lack thereof in this case.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's one of those things to where if Lane Kiffin does not make the playoffs, if that happens, if he does not make the playoffs, he would have taken part in the 2 biggest choke jobs in Ole Miss football history in back-to-back years. I mean, it's true because it's at the point where if Ole Miss does not make the playoffs this year, it is a massive choke.
You don't want them anyways. You're shipping them out anyways.
Well, you should look at it like this. If it happens and Ole Miss doesn't make the playoff on that 9-3 team in 2024 and they don't make it this year, paying $15 million, that's going to take some explaining to people to get it done.
So we can get a discount too. So Florida's got us to strap up this weekend. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Hey, I want to see Ole Miss get off to a fast start because, I mean, we've all been in interim type situations. We all saw the Kentucky game. If you get up on a team, if you get up by 2 scores on Florida, they might just let go of the rope, and just kind of move on to the next week. I mean, I was joking around with somebody, I think it was the Locked On Seminoles person, and said the Florida State-Florida Bowl might be the quit bowl. It's like they're playing like the South Park episode where they keep both of them are trying to lose the game to go home. That's the way that might look. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be weird because it is a game that Ole Miss should win, but Ole Miss should have won last year if we're going to be real about it. Ole Miss had the better team last year.
Sure.
And they didn't win. So if DJ Lagway all of a sudden snaps into it and becomes the quarterback that we all expected him to be, they find some weapons that people aren't quite expecting. Jaden Baugh gets loose in the running game. Florida could be problematic. You need to be careful. You don't want this game to be late in the third quarter in a one-score game.
Yeah, and again, this is – go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, right, because I mean, like Florida, you go into Lexington last week. They obviously laid an egg there defensively, right? But for the whole year, Florida's defense has been playing pretty well. Not elite or anything like that, but they've been playing pretty well. Top 60, top 50, somewhere in there. If Florida somehow, some way, is able to put together a defensive effort against this high octane offense, I think the game could have a chance to be pretty well. And as an Ole Miss fan, I would say that you're more relying on your offense than your defense. I know the defense has some spots in there that they give up some points every now and then, but for the most part, Ole Miss's offense is able to alleviate a lot of the deficiencies there defensively. But so far, Ole Miss's defense has been playing a little bit better than I've seen them in usual years. So I think that Lane's done a very good job of losing his starting quarterback at the beginning of the season, and then bringing in Chambliss. And Chambliss has done a great job. And I think the one thing that I like about Lane Kiffin is he always finds the quarterbacks that makes the right decisions, makes quick decisions, they're accurate, and they can get the football down the field. And I think that is what ultimately is going to make this game good, is if Florida's defense can find themselves the defense that they had against Georgia, the defense they had against all these multiple teams. If they can find that defense again, this will be a good game. Now, if we see the same defense that we saw in Lexington last week, it could get away pretty quick.
Steven,
that's rough, man.
Good.
That was rough. Kentucky not punting in a ball game. That is like, you should get like a Boy Scout merit badge for that. That's impressive.
That happens every time we go to Lexington.
Tough sledding there for the boys last weekend for sure. I want to ask you this. I want to ask you two more questions before we let you rip. And tell me where they can find you too, Steven. Let's play our ball for just a minute, hypothetically. If he announces, because I'd assume you're expecting an announcement after the Egg Bowl, right? Regardless.
No. I'm expecting an announcement after the last play of the last game.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if Ole Miss makes the playoff, the announcement won't come before December 21st, and that is if Ole Miss loses. If Ole Miss plays a home game, they're 21-1 over the last 3 years at home. They're likely going to win. They've got an ACC team or a G5 team potentially. They're going to be playing on January 1st. I think that is the thing that gives Ole Miss fans like solace a little bit, is the timing doesn't really match up, because will Florida be willing to wait, knowing that he's whimsical? Because you could be getting the nod, yeah, I'm coming, because he's not going to sign anything that can be leaked back. He's not going to sign a single thing. And then he's like, I'm coming. It's like, okay, Lane's coming. Everybody gets hired. All the chosen coaches go. Lane Kiffin wins January 1st to make it to the national semifinals, which is absolutely possible to win a football game. Now you're dealing with emotion setting in, and the thought that, hey, maybe I can do this here. And that changes the calculus of the search. And if Lane Kiffin decides to stay like he did in 2022 in the Auburn search, if he tries to stay at that point, Florida's coaching search is blown up. There's no chance to do that. You're going to find somebody from the NFL maybe, but you're rolling the dice. It's another Jim McElwain or Will Muschamp. It's the same thing that has happened over the last 4 cycles. So that is a possibility with the timing of this. I do not expect him to announce one way or another after the Egg Bowl. I don't think he's going to do anything that jeopardizes this playoff run, because it is by far the most important thing to it.
I don't see Florida waiting that long personally. I think if he doesn't sign by then, I think they'll be forced to make a move. If he does announce, let's just say hypothetically after the bowl game or the Egg Bowl, he is coming to Florida. Are you okay with him coaching out the rest of the playoffs?
No, absolutely not. I'll rip him every day for probably 2 or 3 weeks leading up to the game. Yeah.
Well, you gotta think though too, like if he's announced, like say he was announced after the Egg Bowl, go to Florida, and then they go to a playoff, like if you have him coach, that's going to ruin the team chemistry right there. Like he's not coaching Ole Miss anymore.
Yeah, this isn't like John Summerall going to Auburn and coaching the bowl game to where Auburn's going to get a little pub from Tulane in the bowl game. This is an SEC coach going to another SEC team and giving that team pub that you play, I think, next year in Gainesville, which, by the way, if that happens, that game becomes real fun instantly.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can let him coach the game if that happens. Like I said, to prevent that from happening, that is why he's not going to announce, because I don't think Keith Carter or Glenn Boyce would allow him to coach in that situation.
What's your score prediction for the game, Steven? And tell everybody where they can find you at.
All right. I think it's going to be 27-14. I think it's going to be one of like a 27-7 game, a late touchdown by the Gators, make it a little bit closer. You can catch my podcast on YouTube on the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Come check it out. We release a show daily, and we do a ton of extras. I think we got David Cohn from Crane & Company on there right now, and a couple of Ole Miss legends stop by every week and talk about the game. So join us. It'll be fun. Hey, I'm even okay with all the Florida fans coming on in. It is all in good fun. We're having fun at this point because, honestly, guys, it's status quo. There might be speculation, but that's all it is at this point. And you can also catch us wherever you get your podcast. So that'd be pretty cool. Anyway, thanks guys for having me on. This is pretty cool.
Steven, thank you. And we'll see you in the swamp, Bubba.
All right, bud.
Be good, man.
All right, man.
Steven Willis there, ladies and gentlemen, from Locked On Ole Miss. Shout out to him for coming on here, man. Look, I know a lot of people are getting frustrated, but I appreciate his takes, whether you guys appreciate it or not. I think it's look, we live in an echo chamber. We've been telling ourselves what we want to hear for the last month. So, I was glad to hear somebody else who feels equally as confident from the other side tell us how they feel. This is what worries me. Like, you have both sides just like blatantly just, well, this is where we're at.
Yeah. I mean, look, the confidence is going to come on the Ole Miss side as much as it's going to be on the Florida side, right? Like, you're going to have people that got sources on the Ole Miss side. You're going to have people that got sources on the Gators side. And a lot of these people are going to feel confident regardless of what they hear. Now, I will say that, me personally, like, I'm not a biased guy when it comes to this stuff. If we weren't going to get Lane, I would just straight out say, hey, like, dude, he's not coming to Florida. Like, I would tell everybody. I have some confidence he's coming to Florida. Like, I'm sure he has confidence that he's going to stay at Ole Miss. But we're just going to have to sit here. We're going to have to find out. And, like, the next 2, 3, 4 weeks going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously great to hear his takes. I wholeheartedly disagree with the fact that an announcement doesn't come after the Egg Bowl before the playoffs start.
That was weird to me.
Yeah, I just don't see that happening one way or the other. Like, you have to clear out the noise before the playoffs, because you're talking Egg Bowl's the weekend of Thanksgiving, and the first playoff game's not for another 4 weeks. So I don't see how you let it run 4 weeks without any games being played. To focus on the playoff. I mean, I just don't see it happening where an announcement of some sort is not made at least within a week or two after the end of the season.
Well, and here's why. Because, one, if Lane is leaving, he knows he has to leave Ole Miss time to make a decision. I don't think he's going to screw them over. And if he's not leaving, Florida also knows they can't wait until like he said, like, they're not going to wait around. Like, oh, she told me she's going to come hang out with me. Like, that's not smart business. You can't do that. So he on his video talked about ultimatum. It's not going to be an ultimatum. It's going to be like, hey, dude, you know how this stuff works. Like, we're pushing the envelope as much as we can. We're 4 days away from National Signing Day. We've already burned that, which most people are going to have to. That is what it is. We've lost a lot of our candidates by giving you this moment. So either screw us over or let us know what's happening here. Again, very interesting on his part, though. Again, that's where I if you are Lane, do you risk not coaching your team in the playoffs to say I'm coming to Florida? That one, again, he's allowed to coach, mind you. It's just whether or not Ole Miss chooses to let him coach, which would be, I don't know. I thought it would be crazy, but will those players be pissed? I don't think so.
You also got to think, too, like, there's a lot of open positions out here right now, and there's a lot of coaches signing extensions right now. And then there's a lot of coaches on the market right now. Florida's going to want to know what's going on by the end of the season. They're not going to waste their time, because if they wait for their coach and they're undecided, or say that they're undecided or they don't know what's going to happen, they're just going to say, all right, Lane, go coach that playoff. we're going to go ahead and find somebody else. Now, we don't know if something's already been done behind the scenes. Nobody has said anything. We don't know that. We're just going off of, hey, I feel confident here. I feel confident here. I have my sources. We have our sources. And that's the kicker about this whole situation. But I did not see that thing extending into the playoff at all.
What I do hate is that this is more exciting to talk about than the game itself. Like, it's hard to even have a genuine conversation. The one thing I did see Coach Gonzalez say that, look, it sounds like it's going to be DJ's job this Saturday, which, I mean, I'm okay with, as long as the leash is reasonable going into Saturday. I think that, hey, you benched him. It's an open contest. Put a little fire under DJ's ass. It sounds like he's playing well in practice. I'm cool with him trotting out there first drives. Look, if I'm Ole Miss, that would scare me a little bit. Even Lane Kiffin talked about in his presser of, like, kid's good. Like, I don't understand the decline. Like, he goes, he torched us last year. Led the league in biggest plays per passing yards last year. Like, Lane's aware of what this team can do. And even though we kind of joked about it on our show, every team that we played, the head coach was like, that's a very talented football team. Like, at any moment, that thing could ruin our season. It's very Penn State-like. When people are trying to, like, write off Indiana, like, oh, they were in a dogfight with Penn State. I understand Penn State record says one thing, but the talent on that football team is another. It just hasn't translated this year. And obviously everything that's happened to them doesn't help the factor. But this game has become their Super Bowl. I think there's going to be some players on this. And I think he is right, though, to a point that if Ole Miss gets out early, it could get out of hand pretty quickly. Because then what the hell are we fighting for? But if he keeps it close, it's very USF Florida-like, where it's like, we're here now, boys. Let's play some ball. And it's anybody's game at that point.
Well, yeah, and you're talking about you don't know which team's going to show up. You could get the team and the defense that showed up against Georgia, who probably is the only team on Florida's schedule that is more talented than the Gators from top to bottom. And they kept that game. They were leading that game halfway through the fourth quarter. So, I mean, you want to talk about a team like Ole Miss. Yes, they're really well coached. I do agree with Steven that I think this team, roster construction wise and chemistry, is better than last year's, though I think the talent level on last year's team was better. But you're talking about a team that Florida's as talented or more talented than, and if they start to put stuff together and keep it close, DJ Lagway isn't going to be the guy that we saw throw 5 interceptions at LSU every week. He's not going to be the guy that we saw throw 3 interceptions against Kentucky in the first half every single week. Now, he's struggled this year, yes, but he still shows those flashes. And like you said, Sheldon, if his leash is reasonable, I think the Kentucky leash was perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe one drive before, but 3 interceptions in the first half. Yeah, absolutely. And I tweeted it after his second interception. I was like, guys, we've seen this before. Sit him down before 2 becomes 5. And then the next drive became a 3rd interception. And I was curious to see what would happen because obviously, Billy Gonzalez is not married, or his job is not married to DJ Lagway like Billy Napier's was. So he has no reason to keep DJ out there if he's struggling. And we'll see what the spark looks like. Should DJ have to come out of the game? But I think if you get the DJ that we saw end of last year and we've seen at times this season, it could be a really close game, and Florida's defense will feed off of that.
Yeah, and we're also talking about a defense last week in Kentucky that has shown to give some major teams some fits, especially defensively. I mean, Ole Miss gave them fits. Arkansas gave them fits. I mean, you're talking about a team that I think on paper, wasn't the greatest team offensively. We knew that. Of course, we lay an egg in Lexington every time we play them, but we knew defensively it was going to be a challenge, right? And I said that on the last week's show. This week, you got a team that's more high-powered offensively than Kentucky, but they give up a lot of yardage, and their defense is not as great as Kentucky's either. So that's why I think, like, if Florida can get the defense that they had all year. Not against Kentucky, all year, and they can play up to par and up to standard against this Ole Miss offense, I think that this game could be pretty interesting.
What Stoops doesn't get enough credit for is he's a pretty damn good coach. He coaches very Kirby-esque, like, where I say that these guys want to muddy the game up, and it's hard to play against. For Billy Gonzalez to go into Lexington, where a guy that will ruin your entire game plan, like, I use the analogy like a UFC fighter. It's like, just get to the ground, we're gonna wrestle. And it's not everybody's strong suit. It's like he's just gonna sit on you for 3 rounds. Like it's very Russian like, and it's like it's not fun, it's not exciting, but it's like, what happened? The game's over. Like that's how it felt. Like you looked up and the game was over. It's like, what the hell just happened? Yeah, Ole Miss doesn't
funny,
play like. Go ahead.
like I like I'm on the timeline, and like you read the tea leaves of social media, and you're like, okay, well, Florida plays Ole Miss. Are Florida fans really going to be upset if they lose to Ole Miss if they get the coach they want?
No, we have one goal in mind this year, boys. We know what it is. It's beat FSU and get Lane. 2 goals, which
There you go.
We did it last night. Real quick before we keep it rolling, we got a lot of super chats and we're getting behind. You guys are awesome. Adrian Rapp says high top or die. $2. $5. 0. Except he told Auburn no within days of being offered the position. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember that saga.
Some insider knowledge there, I guess.
Yeah, I remember that saga vaguely. I don't remember it being this loud from a major media landscape. I don't recall it being this loud. I can't speak on it confidently, but confident side, I don't know about the Auburn thing, but from a national scale, no way it was this big.
I also don't remember a lot of Auburn ties to the Kiffins. So
I think that's the biggest thing too, is Lane has said it's not going to be about money. So with Steven saying, oh, they're ready to offer him $13.5 million, he's already come out and said, my decision is not based on money. Now, obviously, he's got a lot of love for Ole Miss and what they've done for him, how he's revitalized his career there at the Power 5 or Power 4 level now.
Oh, we lost him. The new guy.
But
choking.
there's
there he is.
So
we'll get him back in here. $2 from
Wi-Fi
Nick.
issues.
Yeah, Lane to Florida, Mullen to Ole Miss. That actually makes a lot of sense. Like that would be a hell of a trade.
I was going to add after I guess Connor's left for the moment, but I was going to add after Connor was speaking, is like we're talking about a guy that wanted the job in 2018. He wanted the job in 2021 when we hired Napier.
Yeah, he's sorry. We were kind of building off. This guy wrote a great super chat. Lane to Florida, Mullen to Ole Miss. Like that. That'd be a hell of a pickup by Ole Miss. I think they would do it. That would be a smooth transition, for being honest. Yeah. You there? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you guys. Sorry about that. I guess the hamster got off the wheel in the house, so the
first day
Wi-Fi was
jitters.
struggling.
I get it. $5, Jeremy. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Let's get Steve an iPad in gratitude, and can we still get juice even if Lane stays in Oxford? I think we could work that out. $2 from Dan's hairline. RZ offense was dead as the student section. Red zone offense was dead as the student section. Jeremy, $5. How will Ole Miss feel in the playoff if Lane announces he is leaving before you play? Thankfully, angry. Oh, we asked that question. Thanks, Jeremy. $2 from Man Dubster. Lane train. Choo choo. High top boy, stay hot. $2. He better get ready to rip Lane for 3 weeks. That was hilarious. I'll rip him. $2. He's scared to death. Yeah, I mean he looked pretty confident, but Steven Willis buyout for $2. $5. The only game he's selling out without having to beg fans. Logo carries weight. I mean this game sold itself for sure. $5. I've written too many checks to Ole Miss fans. Need Lane to come through. Rebs are trash. Go Gators. $5 from Gator Tim. It's always sucks to lose, but yes, Lane and Kiffin would heal most wounds. I mean, it would heal all wounds. 755 people in here, boys and girls. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe. We're on the way to 30,000. Connor Clark is joining us here. He is now a part of the High Top Sports family starting on Wednesday nights. So get used to that beautiful face here. We're rock and roll. Let's transition here. Let's talk a little basketball. Yeah, we about it.
Yeah.
And a nail biter.
I can shoot more threes than this basketball team right now.
Tough sledding, but look, you close out. FSU comes in hungry. We were 18-point favorites and squeak it out in a close one, but ultimately you find a way to win. Not the hottest start for your defending national champions. And it's not the fact that it looks sluggish. It's just your two most expensive players just have not lived up to the expectation yet. My buddy Keith texted me yesterday. He's like, "Is Xavier Lee the new?" Oh man, I'm dropping the ball here. What was our lineman from Penn? Slackman. Is he our new Joey Slackman? Our Ivy League transfer.
Slackman.
Our Ivy League transfer. Just not. What was he like? 1 for $1 million from 3-point. What's happened? Should we panic, Clark? Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the shooting's a bit of a concern. I know they struggled, obviously, at the beginning of last season too, and ended up ending the season as I think it was a 35% three-point shooting team overall. I mean, obviously there's some concern with how poorly they've shot the ball this early on, but you're also trying to develop team chemistry, stuff like that. Now, when you get new guys like this, obviously you return your whole front court, but you've got a brand new back court. Boogie Flan's playing a completely new system. Xavier Lee's playing off ball more than he ever has in his career. Unlike he did at Princeton, he's been the primary ball handler. So it's still working through some kinks. I don't expect them to be as good a shooting team as they were last year, but I do think it will get better. Now, we haven't seen A.J. Brown off the bench, Isaiah Brown's brother, who's supposed to be a solid shooter because he had an injury coming into the season. And you haven't seen much of the freshman. So I'm curious to see how that goes. Obviously, last night was a close game, so you're going to rely on your older, more veteran guys to try and close that thing out for you. We did see a little bit of the younger guys against UNF. I expect to see that a couple more times as we get into this non-conference schedule. But they've got a tough non-conference, man. They got Miami coming up. They've got Duke. They've got UConn. Yeah. So they're going to have to figure things out pretty quick. I do think Xavier Lee is at his best when he's attacking the basket as opposed to pulling these step-back threes. The three-point shot is there for him. I think he's a career 37% three-point shooter and shot 39% last year. But that's not the strength of his game that we've seen thus far this year. He's definitely somebody that's a lot better attacking the basket and dishing and making good passes. We've seen it a lot this year. He's just not been as aggressive. I think with Boogie Flan, you saw a little bit more of what you were hoping to see from him against Florida State, where he was more aggressive on the offensive end, getting to the basket and creating for others, as well as finishing around the rim.
So something that people forget too, because we have a goldfish memory. Again, like you said, this team struggled early on last year from shooting from three, from the chemistry between Walter and Elijah Martin. It wasn't working well. At one point, they weren't on the court at the same time, but they were due to injury, and it worked better because they were having a hard time sharing the court. And something that they didn't do well that would frustrate would drive the hoop. Something I liked early in this Arizona game was the selflessness of Boogie and Lee. Those guys handle and pass the ball extremely well. Something they handled it well and passed it well, but their first thought was Walter, see ball, touch ball, shoot ball. Like that was Walter. Like he just wanted to shoot it 900 times. Like that's how he got in the game. And we loved him for it. Like that was what was great. But there was, how many times when he would touch the ball and you're like, please, for the love of God, just don't drop it. Like when Boogie and Xavier have the ball, like it's like poetry. It's actually really fun to watch. Something that I was happy to see last night, we out-rebounded them, which we got bullied versus Arizona. That's kind of the core of this team. Rebounding, they rebound very well. And I agree, if they can attack the basket, it may just find different ways of scoring. And this team can get, you saw it early in Arizona when they were just, it was like how the Spurs used to play. Just chemistry and motion. Everybody's scoring, everybody's touching the ball, and it just, boop, it goes in. It's not big, it's not flashy how it was, but I prefer that style of basketball because you can suffocate a team. So I'm not worried about it. I'm glad they found a way to win. I think that was actually a really big thing that people are overlooking. How new this team is together, the youth that's on it, to come and play against a team that's extremely hungry and really wanted to whoop your ass, to find a way to win. That's how you win championships. How many times we find ways to win last year down the stretch? You're going to have more of those games and being able, and that's what Kirby's excelled at Georgia for the last couple of years. So hopefully Todd can do that no more.
And that's the thing that I think I've taken from the most with this team is even against Arizona, they were down. And with, 35, 40 seconds left to go in the game, they got to within
a point,
a missed 3-point shot from tying that game.
Yeah.
Brought it back. This game against FSU, a much improved FSU team from last season, can really run up and down the floor, shot the three at a fairly high clip. And man, they were getting after it on the defensive end. You're if you're Florida, you're doing a great job of testing yourself early, because I don't think the SEC is quite as good as it was last year, but obviously still one of the top, if not the top basketball conference in college football, or college
Yeah.
basketball. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you're testing yourself out of conference, unlike last year, where you know exactly what you're going to get from these high pressure situations as you get into the meat of the conference schedule when you get to the SEC tournament and then eventually into March Madness.
Yeah, and look, I know this wasn't Arizona or anything like that, but like Connor Clark said, it was an improved Florida State team, and I think like what I didn't see against Arizona was the defensive effort, which just felt like it wasn't there, especially in the first quarter. I know that they cleaned up some things in the second quarter. This time, I mean, the defensive effort was a little bit better. Obviously, I know the quality of team probably wasn't on the Arizona side, but at least you wanted to see some better defensive effort. We got that. We also got a lot more total turnovers with 18. The 3-point shooting still working on that right there. But I think that, the biggest thing that I saw from Florida was the fact of, the assists, the free throw percentage was a little bit better. Just, as long as you can build on like the beginning of the season, and I know that like these new transfers came in, we're expecting a lot from them, but like you have to build that team chemistry. And I think that, as the season goes on, and he starts to play some of these semi-tougher teams and all that, I think those are the games that you need to use right now to really build that chemistry up. And I think Florida's done a good job of that as the basketball team as a whole, but I think there's still a long way to go. But at the end of the day, it's like, you played Arizona, you had a 12-point lead. You lost that game, you gave up that lead. This game, you had a 9-point lead. You still went up pulling it off by 2. Even though you gave up that lead, you still wound up pulling it off. And I think that, if Florida can start building on some of these things that they're making mistakes off of and slowly improving, I think you can eventually have a pretty good basketball team here.
They made free throws late too, which was something that made me happy.
Yeah. The one thing that I would say about last night that I was a little disappointed in was they were in the double bonus almost almost half of the second half. And when Florida State started making that run, we were turning the ball over. We were jacking up 3-point shots, and they were in foul trouble. They've had one guy foul out. Their leading scorer had 4 fouls for pretty much 18 minutes of the second half and never fouled out. When you're in the double bonus like that and you're struggling to put the ball through the hoop, attack the basket, get to the foul line, watch the ball go through the net at the free throw line. You help extend your lead, or you help keep that other team at bay, while also getting them in foul trouble and putting them in a bad situation, because the depth of Florida State is not great this year.
Yeah, that was, and they struggled at that last year too. I remember multiple times it's like, drive the basket, like you go down screaming, like, dude, it's you're this guy's in foul trouble. You're in the bonus. Take advantage of it. I think these guards though are more likely to do that than the Elijahs, and like Elijah was a linebacker where it wasn't pretty, but these guys are like little ballet dancers when they're out there in a good way. Gator Tim, $2. Swatter for 3. $20 from Glenn Tiger. How much you want to bet I can throw a football over the mountains? Uncle Rico. Go Gators. $20 from man Adrian Raps. Here's a 20 twin because high top sports is what keeps me going. Thank you, twin. I love it. Appreciate it, man. $5 from Wes. Welcome to the family, Connor. Love that they added you to the show. Permanently Go Gators. Lanesville. I love it. All right, last little bit here, and then we're going to get our pick-ems with Bozeman. Listen, good news. I saved you guys 15% or more on car insurance by switching to Geico. Geico, for the last 2 games, I got to change the logo here. For the last 2 games of this year, will be a sponsor on the Florida football field. So that'll be for the Tennessee game and for the FSU game, which we've seen a couple of schools announce this was going to be happening. We've been yelling like, hey, get Publix or Gatorade or something out there. And finally they have. Why this is important from my understanding, because I think it was Tennessee or somebody else that landed, or Tennessee, remember they switched their main, they went from Nike to Tennessee. This helps with NIL. You can utilize this money. So obviously the rev share is a factor, your collective is a factor, but this money also now plays a factor in your NIL. And I would argue that Geico is a pretty monstrous brand to have on your football field for the ending 2 games. Clark, what are your thoughts on this? Have you heard any more about this deal?
No, I mean, I just kind of saw it as it came through the timeline earlier today. It's interesting because I didn't know if Florida would ever kind of jump on that train,
Yeah.
just because the national recognition. You see like when Kentucky changed their field to Kroger Field, and stuff like that. I didn't know if Florida would ever get there, but in today's modern society of college football and the way bringing money in helps directly reflect how you can recruit guys or how you can maintain roster management, stuff like that. It makes sense to do it. I wasn't sure if Strickland would be for it because he wasn't super high on the NIL stuff early on. But I'm glad to see him making some adjustments and the university taking advantage of this opportunity.
We had
Yeah,
Dan
I
on.
was gonna say it's amazing what happens when you shuffle around the UAA
I
and
was
make some
just about to say
changes,
that.
and
Yeah.
and finally some logos get put on the field.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. When we had Dan on, he spoke to the UAA making more moves than we've already have. And I think, honestly, how I took it was more of a, like, again, we kind of hear how the staff and the front office and these people are navigating this coaching hire and where the mindset of this is of like, because we've always felt that like we've argued on the show that it feels like we don't care about football. And I feel like the noise has gotten so loud. We're like, we've got to do some things because it's just not going well. This to me was a very respectable nod to like, hey, we have. You're 100% right. I never thought we would do it. Like Texas Tech did it. Like all these like kind of up and coming new schools, not new schools, but new to the front facing because they just have money just literally just falling out of their hoo-has. They don't. It doesn't matter what they're doing, right? You get like Memphis and like these small schools doing it. You're like, yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. Although it never felt like, I don't feel like it's weird. Like Florida has the capabilities of doing it. Like I want to. Hey, how who we love to love and love to give credit or nag on him a bit. He was the one that kind of really pushed the envelope. So I wonder how much of the boosters kind of said, hey, what are we doing here? Why are we wasting our time on not doing this? And you wonder, I mean, how big it really is, right? Because again, Adidas, they signed a massive contract with Tennessee. I know there's a big conversation about how that money was going to be utilized. You wonder how big it is. It's just for these first two games, trying something out. I would argue that Florida probably won't let High Top sponsor a field anytime soon. Not that we couldn't afford it. Now that we've got Hollywood here, we can.
Not that we're throwing that out there or anything.
Yeah, I just don't know if they would allow us to. It's not and look, like Lane said, it's not a financial problem here. It'd be more of just now once Lane comes in, anything is possible. Anything.
Oh, you know what else? You know what else has helped raise money? This little bad guy right here. Here, let me get it in the camera. See that?
Look.
See that?
Oh,
That's Florida Victorious. Florida Victorious
did
whiskey.
you special guest pass on the bourbon tasting?
Right?
Hey,
That's
look,
what I said.
I have a special shout out I got to give to my buddy Tommy Craig that has been a big fan of the show. I met him at the Gator gathering we had with the players over the summer. Got to know him a little bit, and he happened to be down there in Lexington, and he's like, hey, do you want a bottle of this? So he got me a bottle. So shout out to him. I'm going to send him out some merch and all that stuff too. But I haven't had a chance to try it yet. I'm going to wait till the weekend, bust it open, give you a little taste test, and then I'll post a little summary online when it's Friday and everybody's drinking on something.
Yeah, it's going to be gone in 2 days.
Yeah.
I say should wait till Lane comes and then open it up.
Yeah, should. You're saying something? No, I'm just kidding.
No. I know nothing. It's a guess. It's a guess.
Hey,
I don't know anything either.
I got a tinkle. You two hold it down until old Bozeman shows up. I'll be right back.
Bozeman still hasn't shown up. Well, Connor, congratulations for being part of High Top. We know that obviously you were out of the sports industry there for a couple of years, and I know when Shelton, he had asked me, which is a funny story. I was going to mention it at the beginning of the program, but we had to keep going to we had to keep the thing rolling with other segments and stuff. But like he was just like, "Hey man, think about adding a third person to the show," and I was just like, "Okay, well we had 3 to begin with. I mean, I don't know why we were holding on to 2 for so long." And he's like, "Are you opposed to a third person?" And I'm like, nah, who is it? And then he's just like, "I'm gonna give you a guess," and he made me guess, and then he finally told me, he's like, "Connor Clark."
Oh,
I
he
was
played
like,
the game.
"Hell
He played the game a little bit, huh?
I had no question. I was like, no question when he said Connor Clark. I was like, yeah, bring him on. When's he coming on? Monday, Wednesday? I mean, like, what day is it? And And then we were gonna announce it at like the end of the show last week, and then he was just like, "No, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna wait till like Wednesday." And I was like, "Yeah, that's probably like the proper intro, Mr. Hollywood." So if you want to a little bit introduce yourself to the High Top fam, it gets crazy in here. I know that there's a lot of people that make comments, and there's a lot of live viewers right now. There's 648. So what you got?
Yeah, man, I'm kind of enjoying like scrolling through the comment section and seeing what's going on. It's been fun, man. Like Shelton said, just kind of a full circle moment where when I first kind of got into the industry and stuff like that, I was talking with people here and there, and one of the first real people that were like, "Hey, we'd like to have you," reached out and like, "We'd like to have you on the show." Was Shelton.
Mhm.
So to kind of be able to come full circle and have the opportunity to sit here with you guys every Wednesday night, talk Florida sports, which is something that I absolutely love doing. I've been passionate about Florida since I was growing up. I've got some pictures around the house somewhere. My dad threw me in a freaking baseball onesie as soon as he could when I was about a year old. So, but yeah, it's something that I've always enjoyed. The recruiting side of things was just kind of a way to get me into the industry. I obviously still follow the recruiting side of things, but my true passion has always been Florida football, Florida basketball, and all Florida athletics. The recruiting side just helped me kind of get into it. So while I still follow recruiting, I'm enjoying not being pigeonholed into the recruiting section of things, and being able to chop it up full spectrum with you guys here. So
Yeah,
I
I love
enjoy it.
you're so knowledgeable of the schools and where the talent comes from in these areas, which will be fun to talk about. But I'll never forget, I spelled your name wrong like 4 times on the graphic.
Yeah.
Classic.
What's
Sheldon.
really funny, real quick story is like, I think Connor Clark, when I was at Chomp Talk, you were on our show at one point when you were at Rivals. And
Yeah.
then when I started my own show, you were there. And then now I joined High Top. I reached out to Shelton, and we were just talking about it. I was like, dude, you're doing a good job. Keep going. He asked me to come on. I was on like 3 times, and then we kind of started talking, and then I joined the show. And now you're on the show.
It's a pretty cool moment, man. It's awesome, man. It's a pretty cool moment, like I said, to be able to sit here and do this with you guys, for people that I've talked with for going back 5-6 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
So funny story, Sheldon. I don't know if you remember, but the Utah game when Florida was
Year 1,
Billy Napier's first year, the one that we won, and we're walking down Gator Walk area, and I was walking down with my wife and my parents, and you saw me walking down there, and you're like, "Connor, get over here, get on the podcast. We're doing a live show right now." And my parents looked at me and they were like, "What is going on?" So my dad, obviously being my dad, big Florida guy, he's
Oh no.
like, "Oh, I gotta see what's going on here." Stood like right outside, took some pictures. Oh no.
Oh, you're good now.
All right, there you go. We heard you said you're talking.
Did we get the Wi-Fi situation figured out? Well, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. So you were just saying that I pulled you over, and you started talking about your dad, and then it cut off.
Yeah, so my dad's like, "What the heck?" After we got done, he's like, "What is going on there?" I was like, "Oh, well, I've talked with these guys on their podcast before," and he goes, "Wow, I didn't realize that you could do that off of Twitter." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, it's just fun, man. It became a platform to have some fun doing this and interact with a bunch of cool people, and that's what we get to do now. So I'm really enjoying it. Glitchgate indeed.
Well, it gets pretty rowdy on the show sometimes, so you just have to deal with it, you know.
Yeah, well, here now you get to this is another part of the show that's special. We're gonna do the pickers with the boss. I had to pee beforehand because I was gonna try to wait, but there's no way in hell I was gonna make it through all of the history lessons that boss was gonna give to me. So I had to go before we brought the boss in here, and he makes his picks here. Big guy, how you doing? Good to see you. Dave's bringing in a celebrity picker, Bozeman.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Connor's
gonna pick for me.
Welcome to the High Top fam, brother.
Do that again. How does it go, Bose?
I said Connor Hollywood.
It goes Hollywood.
Oh, good. All right.
Welcome to the show, brother. We have to get
I
our guy
appreciate it.
to do an edit on our intro and outro song now. We got to get
I
Hollywood.
know. Hollywood. Where's the whiteboard at, baby? Come on. I don't think I did well last week.
I got you. Last week, I took the win again with a 5-4 record. Dave was 4-5, and then Shelton was 3-6. Here's.
Ooh.
Let me just turn it over here. Oh, let me get that Lane shirt down. Sorry.
It was a tough week.
Here we
At
go.
an elite level.
Let's see. How do I get this in there?
I caught up. Look at that.
Oh, I'm in last.
Can we see it? Yeah, you're in last place by
Oh,
I got
no.
a 5-game lead on Dave. I got a 5-game lead and then 6-game lead on
I don't know
you.
that I can pick anything this week since Shelton's in last. I was supposed to be Dave's guest picker,
maybe
but I
I
might
need
just
to
sit here and watch.
Yeah, this is brutal. And this week's tough.
Yeah, there's some really good matchups, really good point spreads.
Man, I forgot to change all of the names. Look how awful this is. There's LSU's by Texas.
No. Oh, boy.
Shambles. It's all right. We got the logos. We know what's up. The spreads are
The spreads this week are ridiculous.
The spreads are not right. The the NC State Miami one's not right either. All right. Well,
I got them all here.
Bozeman has them, so it's good.
I got you.
All right. Well, I'm in shambles. I got to do a bounce back. It's a fun week, though. I feel good about this week. A lot of close ones here, a lot of interesting ones. We got Clemson, Louisville. Clemson has seemed to have found some life after last week. Louisville's fighting for their life to stay in it. They're signing Brom. Louisville favored -3. Swalter, are you giving this one to Clark?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think he's got the whole thing. He's one up on you, so I'll come in if I need to have any opinions. But I think you guys need to battle this out through the end of the year. I don't know what's going on here. Sheldon, you made it sound like you were 5 games up on him.
That's how I thought he was last week. Something's weird. Dave was like in the shitter last week. I don't know what happened. I lost by 1 and I'm in last place all of a sudden. I was like, he was throwing Hail Marys last week.
I'm gonna go with Brom over here. I'm gonna pick Louisville, man. A little Brom magic. I think Louisville has played very well in the ACC this year. Knocked off Miami. Clemson's been kind of inconsistent, but when they have a consistent game, they've been tough. Hopefully, they don't have one when I pick Louisville. But I'm going with Louisville. I'm rolling with them, man.
Bose?
Yeah, this is it's -3. Louisville -3. This is a Friday night game. So Friday night, Louisville -3. They're 7-2. Clemson's 4-5. I took some notes. I'm not going to give you guys series histories anymore because you've made it clear that you don't like those. So I'm not doing that anymore. So
hold on. It's not that I don't like them. It's just I feel like they don't have the luster like they used to. That's all.
I feel there's some interesting ones out there. There is one tonight I'm going to tell you because it's very interesting, but I'm going to go away from
the Iowa State one was interesting, where the home team hadn't won in like 9 years. That one's cool to me. When it's like going back 45 years, like there was a stat this year for Aaron Rodgers. He hasn't won a primetime game. Like that's important data for me. I feel like.
I think the Penn State Indiana one. Remember they had won like the first 16 in a row, and they'd won the last 3, and they were up 22-3. That played a key because look how close that game was. But that's fine. I won't deprive your listener, or I'm gonna just listen and learn. I'm not gonna do it. But so these two quarterbacks. Cade Klubnik and Miller Moss, they're decent quarterbacks, honestly. Their numbers are very similar. They both thrown for 2,130 yards, about 65% completions. The thing about this game, Louisville, if you haven't followed them a lot, their running back, Isaac Brown, he leads the country in rushing average per carry, 8.6 yards per carry with 91 carries. That's insane. 91 carries with an 8.6 yard average. And then their other running back, Kewan Brown, has 457 yards. So really good running back combo there. The wide receiver combo for Clemson with Wesco and Moore is pretty good combo. But Chris Bell for Louisville, he's number 8 in the country with 62 catches for 800 yards. I'm going to pick, my pick's going to be based on that Clemson is number 53 in the country in total defense. And Louisville with those running backs and Miller Moss slinging it at home. -3. I'm going to take Louisville.
The spread feels closer than it should be. Although Clemson lost to a close one in Duke, they've looked really good the last 2 weeks. They look like the Clemson they should have looked like all year. And I've got a weird feeling that something may have got figured out with Louisville. I don't know if I'm in desperation mode just yet. Give me the Tigers on Friday night.
Go Tigers.
Wrong Tigers.
I like Louisville a lot. I love what they're doing, and
Thanks.
I would like for them to win because I want them to win. This is what sucks. I want them to win because they keep Miami out if they keep winning. Can I switch my pick?
Absolutely,
Nope,
man.
too late. It's already locked in.
New guy, easy.
Already locked in.
Give me Louisville. I feel like I'm reaching. I feel like I'm wanting to ups. I don't know. I'm gonna punch myself in the head if I'm right here. All right, we got Iowa USC. Iowa should have beat Oregon. My heart's broken for them. I won the pick though because I got the spread. They're headed out west to USC. I like 6.5. I feel like that Oregon got less. Oregon was 3.5. I know it was in Iowa, which played a huge factor to that. I think Iowa's played some damn good football this year, man. Their 3 losses have been just tough. I mean, it's Indiana, Iowa State, and which Iowa State was kind of on a little bit of a burner at that time, and of course Oregon. Like they are 3 quality, just and gut wrenching losses. I think USC is gonna be in for a rude awakening. To be quite honest with you, I like that. I get 6.5 here. I don't think they haven't lost by more than 3 all year.
Yeah, it's a combined 10 points. 3 losses, 10 points. They lost by
That's just crazy.
2, 3, and 5. Yeah.
See why
2,
history
3, and 5.
matters, Bozeman?
Yes, sir.
All right, Dave, you're up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go USC here with the points. I know Iowa's defense has been playing pretty well, but I think USC is just gonna edge them out. Now it's only a touchdown. I'll go with USC.
Ooh, celebrity pick there was not liking it.
Ah,
I
maybe I
think
still like
that's
Connor pick.
you-
Connor, you gonna go Iowa? I'll go Iowa then. I'm switching mine. There you go. Go Iowa.
Didn't have to say a single word. He just like facial expressions.
Yeah. I think that stat alone tells you to go with Iowa. They 3 losses for a combined 10, and you're almost getting all that in one game. I don't think anything Bozeman's going to tell us is going to change our mind.
Is Connor picking these games too? Connor, what you got?
No, he's just helping Dave.
No, he's just here to.
He's
Okay.
gonna help me.
So let's see. The quarterback for Iowa we talked about last week. You said he could sling it, and because he's only got 5 touchdown passes. But
Look,
he has 12
he's slinging
rushing
it in
touchdowns.
Iowa terms, and I was
I know.
right
I don't want to
then,
revisit that.
and I'm right again.
Okay. He does have 12 rushing touchdowns, which is number 7 in the country for rushing touchdowns. He's a quarterback. So even though he's got 5 tutties, 4 picks, it's 17 tutties, 4 picks if you count with rushing. And then their wide receivers they don't have any. I mean, 200 yards is their leading wide receiver. And we talked about their losses. Jaden Maivia, their quarterback for USC, I haven't talked about him much this year. He's number 10 in the country in passing yards, 2,600 yards, with 17 touchdowns, 6 picks, and another 6 rushing. So 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Their wide receiver, Mekhi Lemon, is one of the best wide receivers in the country. He's got 937 yards receiving with 61 catches, 7 touchdowns. So he's going to be a lot to handle. USC's 7-2, Iowa 6-3. USC's 2 losses are to Illinois, at Illinois by 2 points, and then at Notre Dame by 10 points. The key stats here, something's got to give. USC has the number 2 offense in the country, 503 yards per game. And Iowa has the number 4 defense in the country, allowing 250 yards a game. So 250 and 503. I'm going to go with Iowa and all the points because we've talked about how close their games have been. So I'm going to take Iowa with the points.
And I think we learned last week with the BYU and Texas Tech game, it was the same type of thing, offense versus defense, and the defense won that one. And I think the same thing happens here. I think I also believe that the offense from USC is a little more inflated, where Iowa's defense is not inflated by any stretch of the imagination. We got the Utes, the Morms, and Baylor. Baylor's getting 6.5 at home. Bose?
8.5. I think it's
8.5. Oh, sorry. 8.5. Golly.
Yeah.
That changes things.
Yep. It's a lot of points. Yeah. Baylor plus 8.5. Baylor's 5-4. Utah 7-2. Devin Dampier, I know you were kind of hard on him a few weeks ago because, I don't know, maybe you picked them and they lost and you blamed it on him, but he's not that bad. I mean, he throws 66% completions, only 1,600 yards, but 15 touchdown passes, only 5 picks. And then throwing another 5 rushing touchdowns. So that's 20 and 5. And then Wayshawn Parker is running for 600 yards, also 7-yard average per carry. And then, of course, Sawyer Robinson over at Baylor. He slings it 2,780 yards, number 5 in the country, and 26 touchdowns, number 2 in the country. The wide receiver, they got a bunch of wide receivers with a whole bunch of yards and catches, obviously, with him throwing for almost 3,000 yards. The key stats here are Utah's number 6 in the country in passing yards allowed. They only allow 156 a game. So Sawyer is going to be looking to pass it. They got the number 6 passing defense. And then Baylor has the number 111 rush defense. And that's going against Dampier and Parker running the ball. And they're 20 away from being dead last in the country. So Dampier and Parker is going to run wild on Baylor. Utah limits Sawyer. Give me the Utes.
Yeah, I agree completely. Utah is going to curb stomp Baylor here. Dampier made me a little bit more of a believer. I think they kind of learned how to figure. I think the only two that had answers for him were BYU and Texas Tech. I don't think anybody else is going to be able to contain him for now, anyways. And Baylor has definitely lost a little bit of their sauce. So give me the Utes here too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go same one. Utah all the way, baby.
Notre Dame Pitt. This is a weird one. I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Pitt's head coach, basically saying he didn't give a damn about this football game, but that leads me to believe why the spread is the way that it is, because I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be 12.5. It's at Pitt, and I was gonna stay away from this game, and I knew we were gonna have to pick it come today. It's a weird one, Dave.
I don't like the spread, but I'm going to go with Notre Dame here against Pitt. I just think that I think they can against the spread, but their defense just gives up so many points, though, too. It's like, it's hard. I'm still going to go Notre Dame.
Those?
Yeah, this is the one game I'm going to talk to you about series history because Notre Dame's won the last 4 in a row, and the last 2 have been a combined 103-10. So they've just demolished them the last 2 years, Notre Dame. Pitt this year, I think, is a different team.
103-10?
Yes, that's the last 2 years total scores. 103-10.
Shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, and Notre Dame leads 50-21 overall in the series. But the last 4 they won, and the last 2 they crushed them. Pitt's only 2 losses this year were to West Virginia in overtime, and then to Louisville by 1 touchdown. And they beat FSU, and they've beaten everybody else. The quarterback, back in the 4 or 5 games ago, they benched Eli Holstein. They brought in Mason Henschel. He's done really well. He's got 12 touchdowns and 5 picks. Notre Dame, CJ Carr, Dave, I don't know. Dave, do you still think he's a crappy quarterback?
good call.
I'm just busting. I'm just busting. Listen to these
Crappy.
numbers. Yeah, I think you were saying he only throws screen passes.
I heard he threw a good bubble screen the other game.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, here's his numbers. Here's his numbers for a freshman. 152 for 225 for 68%, 2,275 yards, 19 touchdowns, 4 picks. And then Jeremiah Love started off. That's pretty good. Jeremiah Love started out pretty slow the first game or 2. I think he barely rushed for anything. But now he's got 988 yards, number 5 in the country, and 13 rushing touchdowns, number 3. And then they got Jadarian Price also, who's got 9 rushing touchdowns.
Bad quarterback.
The key stats here are, so obviously Notre Dame started 0-2. They're 7-0 since, and they probably got to win out to get to the playoffs. So this game is very important for them. Pitt, like their coach said, it doesn't have any relevance on their winning the ACC. Their next 2 games, what are they? Miami and someone else really tough. So they're going to be focused on them. But the 12.5 points is a lot. I'm going to go with Notre Dame is number 26 in the country in rushing yards per game with the Jadarian Price, Jeremiah Love combo. But Pitt, this might surprise you, Pitt, number 3 in the country in rushing yards allowed. They allow 81 yards per game. So because of that stat and that defense, I'm going to take the 12.5 points at home.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. I think I was kind of worried about this game, but 12.5 just seems astronomical. And I can't help but think that his comments made these numbers be made a little more inflated than they should be. I feel like it should be like a 9.5 game. And then I feel a little better about Notre Dame. I think it'll come down by game time, but we'll see. Oklahoma, Bama. Oklahoma has found a little bit of a rhythm here. Bama has had a hell of a season this year, a hell of a schedule, anyways. -6 at home. They're identical. Neither team can run the ball. Both teams have had good quarterback play. Mateer's obviously been down a little bit, but definitely has had the potential to have good quarterback play. And Bama found itself defensively last week, and Oklahoma has always kind of had an identity on the defensive side of things. Give me Bama. DeBoer's wearing black. Give me the Bama. Bose?
Yeah, I think.
Or go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, it's Bose's turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I'm not sure of the rotation. Yeah, I don't know the rotations. I always wait for the boss to give me the word. But so pretty much everything you said. I mean, they're pretty similar, except for Ty Simpson is having a much better season than John Mateer. Now, maybe if he didn't get his thumb hurt, maybe he has a different season because he looked like he was on that way. But his number is 8 touchdowns, 7 picks, 1,900 yards. And then Ty Simpson, 21 touchdowns, 1 pick. And 2,460 yards passing. So, yes, the running game is a concern, and that might bite them in the playoffs. They can't just keep being one-dimensional. They lost the first game against FSU. They've won 8 straight. They've had some close battles in there. Oklahoma, after they lost to Texas, you gave up on them. You said Oklahoma was trash, but they went back. They beat Tennessee. They beat no, they didn't beat Ole Miss, which made them even more. So here's the key stats for this. You got Oklahoma is still number 7 in the country in total defense, only allowing 264 a game. And passing, this is the key stat. They're number 22 in the country in passing defense, which is what they're going to have to go up against with Ty Simpson. This is just such a close game. I could go either way. I have Alabama circled here, but I do have a 5-game lead. I'm going to protect it, but I have Bama circled here. And since you picked Bama, I'm picking Bama.
Wow. You see what I deal with, Clark? Just softness.
Oh,
Dave?
like you haven't done that to me
Never.
all season. Go ahead. Nope.
Dave?
I'm going to go Bama, man. I think they roll Oklahoma, man. I just don't have a lot of confidence in Mateer after that surgery. He hasn't looked the same. I think Ty Simpson's kind of found his way. I'm going to go with Bama.
Texas at Georgia. Georgia's getting 6 here. It's an interesting one, but I think I'm not going to go first.
Georgia's -6.
Yeah,
no,
Georgia
-6.
Yeah, Bozeman, you're first.
Oh, no. This is the one game I didn't have decided. I was going to go off of what you guys said. Shit. Okay. Well, let's first start with Arch Manning because he does get a lot of hate. You know what? I'm going to give him a little bit of love here. He's got a lot of hate this year.
It's gotten better.
No, yes, for sure. His stats for the year, 63% completion. That's okay. 2,123 yards with 18 touchdowns, 6 picks, plus another 6 rushing. So 24 and 6. He did have a slow start, but the expectations were so high for the kid. I mean, preseason #1 Heisman candidate. And I think it's just too much expectations. But he's actually had a solid year. Texas only 2 losses. I mean, they lost to us, and then they lost to Ohio State, who's the #1 team right now. Georgia 8-1, but they keep playing this game every week where they're losing the game in the first half and they come back. Excuse me. But Gunner has been impressive to me. 15 touchdowns, 2 picks, plus 7 rushing. So 22 and 2. Chauncey Bowens, Nate Frazier. I'm going to take Georgia -6. I don't love it though. So Shelton, you could probably do Oppo because I was going to take whatever. I'm taking Georgia -6, but I don't love it.
Yeah, I wanted to take Georgia. I think Gunnar Stockton's been playing really good, really well as of late. But I gotta get saucy. I feel like we've picked the same all the way through. Yeah, we have, and I'm okay. This is a game I feel like I can get cute with. So give me the hook'ems. I got to. Dave?
Yeah, I still think Georgia wins the game, and they win it more than what they have on the spread. So I'm going to go pick the Dogs. I'm not barking either.
NC State, Miami. The spread's 14.5 in favor of Miami, right, Bozeman? I got it all mixed up on this one.
Miami's favorite, but yes, by 14.5.
And I lost last week by half a point. They won by 28, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all had Miami. We all lost by half a point. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
That's a tough
It was a
beat there.
last minute garbage touchdown that meant 0, except for the spread, obviously.
NC State's ruined some people's season this year, haven't they? They've won a couple weird ones they shouldn't have.
Yes, they beat Virginia, which was Virginia's only loss until last week. When Virginia was 7-1, their one loss was to NC State. And they also beat Wake Forest, who's decent, and then Georgia Tech. They beat Georgia Tech to give them their first loss.
Interesting one here, Dave.
That is a big spread. I'm gonna go with NC State here. Think Beck throws a couple of turnovers like he always does and gives NC State some points. And I'm gonna go with them with the spread because that's a lot of points to give NC State.
Bose?
I do think Miami wins.
It is a lot. Yeah, it is a lot of points. CJ Bailey, the quarterback for NC State. I don't know. We don't talk about him, but he's 2,400 yards, number 18 in the country, 19 touchdowns, 7 picks, plus 4 rushing touchdowns. And their running back, Hollywood Smothers. How about that? Hollywood Smothers.
Hollywood.
He's their running back. He has rushed for 825 yards with a 7-yard average, which is number 6 in the country. And then, Carson Beck, Miami, whatever. We talk about them a lot. Carson Beck, Mark Fletcher, Malachi Tony, CJ Daniels. But they're 7-2. They lost to Louisville and SMU. Cristobal is just, the last 3 years, he just shows us. He just loses these games late in the year. They start out the season 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, maybe one loss. And then at the end of the year, when the pressure's on, they choke. So I think Miami, this could be a game they lose. We talked about NC State beat Virginia. They beat Georgia Tech. They are 5-4. But I'm going to take the 14.5 plus NC State, and let's hope that they can win the game and officially knock Miami out of the playoffs.
Is this game in Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tickets are $10. You can get one.
NC State's quarterback is from Miami. He's going to want to put on a show in front of his family too.
Yeah.
Golly, bro, that last little tidbit there, because I was going to take Miami here. Like I wanted to take NC State too because Miami just got back into the playoff hunt. Like it fits everything to them to choke it. But the last 3 games they've basically covered the spread. I don't really count last week. You put up 28 points. They've found a little bit of a groove.
CJ Bailey went to Chaminade Madonna High School in Hollywood, Florida, and he was the quarterback for Jeremiah Smith and JoJo Trader.
Nice.
See, guys, that's why I tell you, the guy knows his recruiting.
This is why we added Hollywood.
So you feel like this is going to be a reunion for him?
I think CJ Bailey's having a good year. And I also think, like I said, because he's coming back home to play in front of a bunch of people he knows and he's playing against his former high school teammate in JoJo Trader, I like those 14.5 points in NC State's favor.
Oh, damn. All right, give me the Wolfpack.
And I wouldn't be shocked to see them win it outright.
I can't pick Miami after this entire spiel because then I'll just like a moron.
You know what's funny? I feel like Connor Clark's like that lifeline on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah.
That you just choose.
Yeah. Well, he killed me because I was ready to go all in on Miami. I felt like I was good on that one. V-Tech.
Well, go ahead.
FSU 13.5. Another wild spread here. And V-Tech is kind of ruining some people. Bozeman?
Yeah, Virginia Tech's only 3-6. They started the season 0-3. They fired their coach. They've been 500 since. Their quarterback's not too bad. I've never heard of him. Kyron Drones, 1,600 yards, 15 touchdowns, 6 picks, plus 8 rushing touchdowns. So 23 and 6 right there. Their key win this year, I guess, would be against NC State, who we just talked about. They beat them 23-21. They beat Cal in double overtime, if that's the key win, and all the rest are losses. Florida State, I mean, we had them a couple weeks ago. The first time I ever picked them was against Wake Forest, and then they demolished Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Got me mad. And then, oh no, you know what? I'm sorry. I picked them again last week against Clemson. They lost again, so I'm 0-2 when I picked FSU. The stat is going to be Virginia Tech is number 72 in the country in rush defense, allowing 147 a game. And of course, we know Florida State, all they do is run the ball. They're number 11 in the rushing offense, 227. So I hate to pick. I'm going to go again. Fool me 3 times or whatever. I'm taking FSU minus 13.5 at home.
Yeah, Florida State's also leading Virginia Tech really well in yards per play. They're a little bit better. Virginia Tech's a little bit better in the red zone than they are. I'm going to go with FSU too.
I got to play catch up. I'll take VTech. I don't feel good about it, but I don't mind picking against FSU. So I'm cool with it. Last game here, boys. Gators Ole Miss. I was I told Bozeman last night. I was tempted when it was 12, I think, or 13. I was pretty pissed with how the game went on Saturday. Like I was like, I might roll into Wednesday and for the first time in High Top Sports history, pick against the boys. Because I was pissed. And I was like, Lane's about to go in there and just throttle this shit to the max. And I know that I was like, I'm tired of losing my pick too. Just giving one away. But Steve came on here. We talked about it. And give me the orange and blue, boys. Give me 15 and a half. And give me DJ Lagway and the boys to turn it up one time for the boys. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you can't count the kid out. You can't. I'm picking him all the way out too, because F Tennessee and Florida State. But this was one game I was close. I was close. I was wobbling. Battle tested. Give me the boys in blue.
Yeah, this one is tough because Florida struggles in away games, and they struggled under Billy Napier.
No, Billy Napier struggled in away games. Billy Gonzalez.
Yeah, I'm getting
got that Gator in him.
I'm getting that point. So we have a different Billy on the field. So regardless, Florida's going to win anyway. So just give me the Gators, if you know what I mean.
Oh, didn't see that one coming.
Oh, they're going to win anyway because of the coach. Okay.
And Bozo put his house on Ole Miss, so I would love for him to have to take out a loan.
Sheldon, you are a glutton for punishment. With the 5-17 road record, the new Billy is 0-2 on the road, by the way. So. All right, so this is the Lane farewell tour. 9-1 Ole Miss, 3-6 Florida. We finally have somebody who leads the country in a stat, and it's still Mr. DJ Lagway with 12 interceptions leads the country. We finally did it, boys. We got a stat leader.
We're leading.
Man, I gotta tell you, it was so miserable watching that game. Obviously, that's the second year in a row second time we went to Kentucky and just got destroyed. It was the Ray Davis 2 years ago, running for almost 300.
The accountant, bro.
And this year, I mean, 37. What was it? 37-7, whatever it was, I forgot. And our only touchdown was off a muff punt where we only had to go 15 yards. So our scoring streak was in jeopardy there. If we didn't get that muff punt, who knows what happens? But I don't know, man. The injury report, it's still dreadful. Caleb Banks, I don't know what that's. I thought he was done for the year.
Yeah,
but maybe he wants
doubtful.
To get a couple,
don't sleep on the kid.
Maybe he wants to get a couple more things on tape for the NFL next year. But and also Trayon Webb, that was interesting to see. He hasn't played in over a year. He might be cleared to play. Maybe he knows he can get his 3 games in redshirt. I don't know. But Jaden Baugh, I thought he maybe checked out last week when he tapped his helmet and went off the field and never came back on. But then I saw his press conference after the game, and I don't feel like he checked out because he was talking about how him and DJ are still dialed in. So, but the big stats, obviously, I'm going to give them to you right here and then pick my pick. Florida is number 82 in the country in passing yards per game allowed, 217. Well, Chambliss, he's a dog. He can throw the ball. We know that. And then we are number 105 in the country in offense. We average 340 a game, number 105. And then Ole Miss is number 7 in passing yards per game at 306. So they love to pass it. We can't stop the pass. And then they're number 4 in offense at 490. So they average 490. We average 341. Give me Ole Miss. I have a huge bet with minus 13.5, which I showed you guys. And the spread is up to 16. It's probably going to get a little higher, but I hate it. Just like last week, I'm rooting for the Gators. But like Dave said, either way, we're probably going to get a win. Because I think the Lane train is going to be making a stop in Gainesville next year.
I hope you lose all of it. Bozeman, pleasure as always, big fella. We'll do it again next week. We've only got a few weeks left, and then we've got the championship week, which each game's worth 2 points. So maybe I can make a big comeback then. But Bozy, good seeing you, Bubba. We appreciate you.
You too, guys. Take it easy.
Bose.
See you, go Gators.
See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps our show up for the evening. What do you think, Connor? You come back next week?
Yeah, I think you can convince me to come back next week.
All right. I was worried we were gonna scare him off. That's.
So did Connor pass the test?
Yeah. Take it both. Go Gators.
Oh, it's Bozeman. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, did he pass the test? I think he did.
I think he did all right. I think we'll give him an A- for now. A- for now. He had a couple
my
glitches.
10-day contract got renewed.
Couple glitches. Yeah, we actually signed contracts mid-season. We're cool with signing the extension mid-season. But
Yeah, I can make an announcement before the season's over. No problem.
yeah,
I don't have
awesome.
to wait till after the playoffs.
Boys and girls, hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I know that I did. Be sure to smash it, like it, love it, do all the great stuff. We're on the way to 30,000 sub. David Swolder, Connor Clark. Give us all a follow on Twitter. I'm Sheldon. Y'all be good, be safe. Peace and love, baby.
The prof with the stats, the champ with the fist, Swolder bringing fire, cowboy tie, riding bold. Bulls calling bets, watch the stories unfold. And it's truly
$5. We've got enough iPads. Let's pony up for some Starlink for Connor.
It's high top sports, baby.
$5. Just told my wife since we live in Tennessee, I need that Rocky Flop shirt off the website for Christmas. Let's go, Adrian. $5. Feeling dangerous. You up by 10. We taking lane savage mode. See y'all, boys.